The John Howard Society has requested funding from the United Way for what we call core funding, and I can explain that a little bit more by our clientele are multi-challenges and are what we consider complex. And what we mean by that is that they have, they're usually dependent upon a variety of government departments at any given time, and due to that they have they experience more and more where they get caught up into systems and they become more and more reliant. When we see our client base, they're coming in usually referred for 1 or 2 programs that we offer at the John Howard Society. However, due to the complex nature of their circumstances and situation, they usually require a multitude of other programs simultaneously in order to be able to effectively be successful in the ones that they were originally referred to. So say for an example, if a fella that is has a multitude of risk factors is referred to us for employment reasons, we may assess that individual because all of our clients that come to us are all case planned. So there is a beginning case plan for each of the individuals that come in because we do know the complexity of the issues that they are confronted with. So if this individual is looking for employment, we also are assessing their need for more education. We're assessing their situation as far as circumstances within their family home, with if they're living independently, their financial circumstances, addictions issues, mental health issues, and a variety of different circumstances. And what usually we find is that in order for that individual to be actually successful, and we know this from having 60 years of experience here in St. John, that if that individual is to be successful in gaining employment, he may need to have to write his GED and have a bit more upgrading in education. He may require some counseling. Maybe it is domestic violence counseling or addictions counseling, or he may need to have some therapeutic mental health counseling on top of that. And this all needs to be simultaneous because the individual is our clients are usually what we call an immediate crisis situation. So we found in the past, if we were to put a client into, say, one of our employment programs, and they were to go about, there's usually mini crisis situations that are occurring that lead up to a final crisis situation where they drop out of the program or they're unsuccessful in being able to find employment. And that's just one example of how our program services work simultaneously. So in order for that to happen though, and many know that when that individual is referred, there's usually funding for the original program that they're referred to. And to be able to provide all this simultaneous programming and services to the individual, that is done through agency donations, or what we've been very appreciative of is the United Way funding. An example of that would be the case planning process, social work counseling, and psychologist counseling is all over and above, and does not have an actual funding source. So that would be something that would be in addition to what we are funded for in our program. Also, we have we provide material aid. Usually our clients would require work clothes, work boots, transportation to and from interviews and the work site in the beginning stages. We help individuals that while a client would be with us in one program, there's usually crisis situations that are happening whereby that client could be gaining a multitude of skill sets, and then all of a sudden be evicted from their apartment, or to have a family breakdown in their home. And during those time periods, they may need a little bit more financial aid, or they may need a little bit more counseling. Now, again, with our clients having multi-needs, we go and refer them extensively to services that are provided all around the local area that they would be able to attend to. Another example of a typical client having a complexity of issues. One of our clients early on was referred to us because it was a young person who was homeless, and we had the first youth homeless transition homes in the city. And at that time, this young person was able to gain a multitude of different services that surrounded the transition home. And during that time period, this person suffered from some mental health concerns, addiction issues, and a multitude of other issues that would be raised if you're living on the streets. Now, due to that, we had simultaneous programming for this individual also. We were looking at the upgrading of education, continuing her schooling, having employment-based programming and work placement programs, as well as the counseling on a regular basis. Later, a few years later, this young person was ready to go off to university, and one of the things that they wanted to do so much is be able to give back as a social worker what they had experienced, to be able to help the individuals that they felt that they knew so much about because they were one. And that changed quickly to a lawyer when she started to realize that there was more of a need for lawyers to be able to represent the needs of individuals that came into conflict with the law, that really never would have had, would never have thought of committing a crime if it wasn't for the circumstances that they were living in. A multitude of different complex issues happening within her life, and so there's a lot of simultaneous programming, as well as there's a multitude of other caseworkers. So she has quite a network within the community where we're all communicating with each other to help this individual with highly complex problems. And now this individual wants to start her own business, but because she has serious mental health considerations, due to that she has she would not be able to work for a long period of time in somebody else's organization. So all the caseworkers together have realized that it might be most beneficial for her to be self-sufficient, to have her own business where she can come and go and dictate her own hours and her own times. And this person is a phenomenal worker. This person has multi-skills, but sometimes would not be able to be seen if she was going into the traditional workplace and had to go under some structured hours. So because of that, now we're looking at being able to provide her the counseling, the proper educational counseling she might require, the additional certification she might require, the employment help that she requires, and creating a business plan. All of this is coinciding with some severe mental health episodes that she may have here and there. However, we keep plugging away, and so little things like that are barriers to being able to reach that end goal, such as not having a driver's license, and other agencies may not be able to help her with that because not only does she not have a driver's license, but she has a fine that may have to be paid prior to regaining a license. So we try to cover all of those as long as the client is moving forward on this path. And once you have covered all of those barriers, all of those challenges that can be insurmountable to a client, and have them drop out of whatever type of program or service that they're attending. If you've covered those, they will advance, and they will be successful, and they will be happy, they will be self-efficient, and we've seen this time and time again. So United Way funding is what makes that happen. That's what makes that end result being so successful for such challenging challenging issues that our clients have to go through on a day-to-day basis. Every day, the client base that we have that come to see us, they usually can walk into a program and feel that this is all their needs. All I need is a job, and during that time period while they're getting it, real life is happening to them, and multiple crises is occurring on a regular basis. And it's everything from the spectrum of domestic violence, being either the victim or the aggressor, to mental health issues or addiction issues, which they may have relapsed at one point in time. All of these things can come into play. Impoverished situations on a regular basis. Most of our clients come from an impoverished background, so even when they do obtain money, doesn't last. It's not very long lasting, because a crisis situation comes, and what the average person knows of as a support system for when they fall, that is usually their parents, friends, family. That our clients don't have that type of network. If they fall, there's no friends, there's no family members, there's no services that are there to help them, and so they fall hard. So the John Howard has become one of those support systems for many of our most complex clients in this city. They will tell you, as we will say, once you come to the John Howard, you're part of the John Howard family, and they will say that themselves. Many of us call us mom and dad. Many clients will call us mom and dad, and but they're there for life. And again, one of the real satisfactions with this is seeing these clients, and it may take years, but seeing these clients come back again and say, well, what can we do for you? So, say for example, we have an employment program, which is, it places individuals into apprenticeships. Now we have a network of unions and tradespeople that take on our client group. And our clients, when they're given these opportunities, are so overwhelmed at the chance and opportunity to be in a job of value. They do amazing things. And if they have the supports that I was just making reference to, they are highly successful. So we now do have plumbers and carpenters and pipe fitters out there in the world, but they come back to us and they become the employer that's going to take on another client because they know us so well. So, and they want to do their part in helping. Very loyal, very, our clients have an integrity that I admire. It's just, and it is so refreshing to be able to see this. And if you're old like me, you get to see it and come back at you, so many years later.